This is gonna be the opposite of a reading list. These are all books that are on my reading list, but deep down. So, books that will not be read soon, books that I won't be reading just yet. What do we say to the god of death? Not today. So that is what I say to these books. I will read you, but it's not gonna happen during the summer. I have right behind you the books I'm gonna take to read during the summer, and I have to make choices because I'm giving up my habitat. I'm not gonna have a house during the summer. I'm just gonna be traveling. I have a backpack. I can carry only so many books and then change them, right? So maybe throughout the summer I'll read 30 books or something like that. But I cannot carry 30 books either. So I'll carry 5 and then another 5 and swap. But life, like I have more books than time at the moment. So these are books that I definitely wanna read, especially when I start uni for my last academic year in September. And then some of these will start coming. But yeah, these are my not yet books. And this was not like I didn't think of this as a tag, but let's make it a tag. I'll tag someone. My not yet books I want to read but not yet. And yeah, I mean that just came up now, but let's start. Okay, so let's start with anarchism because why not? Most of this is gonna be philosophy anyways, so you might as well get used to it soon. When I was a teenager, I used to call myself a philosopher. A philosopher, no. I still call myself a philosopher. I think everyone is a philosopher. I used to call myself an anarchist, but I hadn't read anything of anarchism. Then I read a couple of basics of anarchism, but I haven't read like the main texts of anarchism. I don't know that much about anarchism. I'm just like subjectively inclined to like anarchism and to agree with it for my own sort of personal biases, and yeah, that's it. So this is probably gonna be the first book on anarchism that I read after summer, as sort of like a delving in, and then I want to read, since we are doing anarchism now, then I want to read this one, is The Conquest of Bread by Peter Kropotkin, and this is one of the classic texts on anarchism. Along with this, I also want to read The Ego in Its Own, but I'm not super crazy about that one because I know it's gonna be sort of like a Nietzschean self-centered rambling. But yeah, that's it for anarchism. This is so much to choose from. Let's go to the duties first. This is books I'm gonna read for duty. I'm gonna read this one because I have to, because I wanna finish uni having read the allegedly hardest philosophy book ever written. And I read the first chapter and it wasn't that hard. I know the first chapter is incredibly easier than the rest of the book, and it's way more palpable because it's like talking about history and stuff. But I have this module next year called Radical Political Theory, which I really like. I did it last year, and I'm redoing it this year. And this is one of the books that are gonna have to be read for that module. So there we are. Similarly, for the same reasons, there's some novels here. I promise you will find stuff here that you like as well. Not only painful ramblings of dead philosophers, but yeah, definitely this one I want to read. I also have to. I think it's incredibly relevant, and I think this is a good collection. I have read already quite a few texts from Marx, but I want to read like a collection of sort of like his most relevant stuff. And this is also relevant for uni next year, so that's it. I want to know what post-colonialism is about. This is a historical introduction. I'll read this thing cover to cover, not as sort of like attentively as the other books I've showed so far, but I will read it cover to cover. Now this one, I've been meaning to read through this for a while, and I have it with me for like I've had it with me for a while. I don't know who was the first person to recommend it, but I know that the last person that sort of like triggered me, sort of like putting this book on my reading list mind and fixing it there is Steve Donaghy, because this is Erasmus, like one of his favorite writers, and this is one of his favorite books. So yeah, I mean, I'll read it because why not? Now Judith Butler is More Duty. This is very important text for like the last century, and gender travel. Also, I want to read more of this kind of literature, just to sort of be familiar with it. I know she's not the best theorist, but the topics she talks about, on the topics she talks about, she's one of the most important figures. So that's why I'm gonna be reading her. Herodotus, the histories. This I've also been reading. I've also been meaning to read for a while, but I think Michael K. Vaughan was the one who actually made me get the book and want to read it. And I will probably read this after summer. This book will be read. I just feel like, because it's all about the medic wars in Greece and everything. I feel like I want to read one more popular history about Greece before starting, because I don't want to be out of place. I want to be lost. I wanna finish this book, close the last page, close the book, and be like, I got this book. I remember this book. I know what it is about. I know where it was happening. I know why it's relevant. So I'm gonna prepare myself a bit more for this book before I read it. Marcel Mauss, yeah. I just really like this title. A general theory of magic. I keep reading anthropology. He keeps coming up. I wanna know more about what's up with this guy. Why is people talking about Mauss so much? Now, Levi-Strauss, similar thing on Myth and Meaning. I've read Elementary Structures of Kinship by Levi-Strauss. It was mind-blowing. It was almost life-changing in terms of what it says, what it argues. Like, I did not know that marriage was that marriage initiated as a sort of like trade between of women for land and vice versa, land in exchange for women, and all the implications that had, and like it was just crazy. It was just crazy because some of the arguments, some of the things that you are there, you're like, yeah, I kind of like thought that, but to see how it is, how it happened, how it works on how it's been sort of like going on for so long, and how it was actually like not subliminally or implicitly, but pretty much explicitly an exchange, an economic exchange, and to really understand that it's not the same as to say it and to like read. So yeah, I mean, Levi-Strauss, and again, I wanna know more what's up with anthropology, because I'm sort of like trying to figure out what my master's is gonna be, if I do masters at all. The Undiscovered Self by Jung. I just wanna read some Jung. I have some friends that are obsessed with him, and I wanna see what's up. Wittgenstein, Tractatus Logico Philosophicus. People love this guy. Like at university, humanities students love this guy. Why? I guess I'll find out. It's language, by the way. All about language over there. Image, Music and Text, Roland Barthes. This is from my my phase when I was reading Georges Bataille and French philosophers, and it's sort of like, yeah, Image, Music and Text sounds like a very interesting text to read. I know. I don't know if you hear that, but my housemates are taking care of dogs. They're like dog keepers, and yeah, they are not the best at it, and yeah, that's it. So there you are. I cannot speak too loud because these walls are made out of paper. Orientalism by Edward W. Said. Again, kind of its thesis seems self-evident to me. I don't feel like I will learn a lot from this, but I have friends who read a lot of this kind of books and told me that this is sort of like the book to get at the main themes of Orientalism, of this idea that we have in the West of the Orient, its mystification, its commercialization, and how it oversimplifies realities that are just as complex as ours. So I want to know more about that. Society of the Spectacle. I'm sure you heard about this book. I want to read it because we've all heard about this book. What is the Society of the Spectacle about? I have an idea, but I'll find out soon enough. The Dialectic of the Enlightenment by Theodor Adorno and Max Horkheimer. The idea that the Enlightenment was the beginning of fascism, that the Enlightenment, the elevation of reason, the idea of that reason was sort of like a substitute for the divine, was the beginning of the Holocaust. And also the conviction that the only myth, like that the myth of the Enlightenment is that we can end, the only myth that is out there is that we can end with all myths. Humans are mythological creatures, and the error of the Enlightenment was trying to get rid of human myths, of human mythology, and consequently mythologized reason. Theodor Adorno, I love that guy. Beyond Anthropocentrism. That's all I know about this book. Time and Free Will by Bergson. I want to read one more book about time and free will before I sort of like chucking them in the whole subject. And this is supposed to be super mega important, and yes, Bergson has to be read. So I think I will like this book. I think it will be definitely illuminating in some sense. An Introduction to Dialectics by Adorno. Yeah, dialectics is a huge subject of philosophy, and I don't know how good I have the intuition that Adorno is gonna be shit at introducing people on things, because it's this kind of like, how generally teachers and elite athletes cannot be the same person. Like, you don't need to be a good surfer to be a good teaching of surfing. Or a good football player to be a great coach. But not only that, I would take that claim even further, and I'd say that sometimes those who are really good at one subject, or those who are like really far ahead on their discipline, tend to not be the best ones at introducing people on that discipline. And I have a feeling that this introduction will not feel like an introduction at all, but I will try it and see. History and theory in anthropology. This is pretty much an introduction to anthropology. As I said, I'm kind of interested in the subject, and I wanna dive more into it. So we go with the novels and everything. So we start going there. I think after these three, we have 3 novels, and then that's it. I know 4 novels. I don't know if this one ended up there. Yeah. So mythology. I wanna do more mythology. I'll probably read this introduction first. Classical Mythology, the Basics by Richard Martin. Feminism, Past and Present by Camille Paglia. I want to read some dissident feminist account on feminism, just to see what's up. The History of Sexuality, I read this already. This is gonna be a reread because I felt like I was missing so much. Michel Foucault. He called it an introduction. This is not an introduction. Foucault was also shit at doing introductions. It's an introduction, okay, just in the sense that it's incredibly oversimplified, but it's still too complex for it to be introductory. Yeah. Novels, novels and things. That these are the books that will probably be more familiar to you. Average booktuber. My average booktuber will be more familiar with this book that I have right here. Now, books I'm gonna be reading, but I'm not gonna read this summer. The Conspiracy Against the Human Race by Thomas Ligotti. This is meant to be a horror book. I know nothing about it, but I've heard enough people talking about it to be curious. And I heard someone saying that this is a beautiful cover. It's beautiful in the sense that I like having this cover on a book, but the thing itself is one of the ugliest things I've seen. This is the ugliest face I've seen on a cover. Okay, let that sink in. And the Beckett trilogy, Molloy, Malone Dice, and The Unnameable. I don't know much about Beckett. I read Waiting for Godot. I think I will like this book. Persepolis. I wanted to read a graphic novel. This one seems to be very cool. I've heard people say that it's the best 21st century book ever written, whatever. I don't know if that is true. Most of the times when someone says that, they barely read a book a year and they read one that is good, and then they say that. I'm not saying that this is the case. I think this is probably a really good book, but I don't know if it's the best of the 21st century. I definitely don't have the authority to say that, and the person who told me that also didn't have that authority. That didn't read more than I do. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm very excited to read Persepolis. I was just yesterday watching Lawrence of Arabia. 7 Pillars of Wisdom. This book, I know zero about it. I have a feeling that I will love it. It's by, obviously, T. Lawrence. I have a feeling that I will love this book. Because, why not? Because it's probably, I don't know, it looks like the kind of book I would normally love. But I know nothing about it. I only got it because it's one of Steve Donaghy's favorite books. I liked the title. I googled something about it and it sounded like, yeah, let's go for it. Those are my not yet books. What are yours? Who am I tagging? I have no idea. I didn't know that this was a tag when I started recording this video. I sort of realized that this actually is good food. It's food for tag. Yeah. So I'm gonna tag. Who am I gonna tag? I think I'm gonna tag people on the description. But first I'm gonna see if this already exists. If it exists, then I'm not, because not yet books sounds like something that someone would have made already. And then I will probably leave in the description people I'm tagging. Probably it'll be I don't know, Michael K. Vaughan, Sean D. Stenfast, James Holder, another Bibliofy reads. I'll tag not so many people, so there is people left to tag, whoever does this tag. But I'm definitely not tagging Steve Donaghy because he doesn't sit on books like chicken sit on eggs. That's what he says. So he definitely doesn't have a list of not yet books to be read. So yeah, that's it. I'll get back to you soon. Thank you.